In April of 1975, South Vietnam would officially fall to the Northern Vietnamese with the fall of Saigon, the capital of the South. In the midst of the chaos and panic is Dr. Chun Xuân Dũng, a survivor of the war. Dr. Chun was Chief Medical Officer of the 4th Battalion of the South Vietnamese Army during the war. Field doctors like Dr. Chun would see many of the harsh and brutal realities of war. The morning of the fall of Saigon, Dr. Chun's wife would give birth to their youngest daughter.
My wife had given birth to our daughter at 4 o'clock that morning. When I heard of the surrender, I rushed to them and I paced by my wife's bedside, holding my gun, a Colt 45. We had no means to flee, no money, no contacts, and I am hysterical from exhaustion and panic. I raised the gun to my head and I attempted suicide. And my sister and my wife cried and begged me not to. I cannot explain the turmoil and desperation of that moment.
With the world watching the North take over the South, the North Vietnamese would wait a few weeks before making their move to extinguish the South. The North would begin to enroll former South Vietnamese soldiers, officers, and officials into what they called the Re-Education Program.
If anybody tried to evade, you'd be captured and shot on the spot.
Dr. Chun would be one of many former South Vietnamese to be enrolled and sent to the re-education camps.
Thousands of men in cramped, dirty conditions. So many died from the lack of food, medicine, and clean water. We undertook hard labor, felling trees in jungles and clearing bamboo forests. We were ordered to clear land mines with nothing but our hands.
This would be at just one of the many camps in Vietnam. The treatment of the prisoners varied from location to location, but one thing that is undeniable is that these people were treated unspeakably inhumane. They were degraded, and what happened to them is a disgraceful shame in human history.
Worst of all were the kangaroo courts preceding a public execution and having to pick up the human remains after to try to give the man some dignity in death.
In December of 1977, Dr. Chun would be released from the re-education camps. Free at last, he went to find his family.
My biggest fear was never seeing my family again, of my children having no memory of me, not knowing what my face looks like or what my voice sounds like. When I was eventually released and returned home, I looked like a skeleton. My youngest daughter, who was born the day the South fell, did not recognize me and ran away screaming. But my eldest, she recognized me despite there being only 3 when I was taken away, and she clung to my knees. And in that moment, I felt like my heart would burst.
In 1978, Dr. Chun and his family was able to flee Vietnam and move to Malaysia. There, they would be chosen to be permanent citizens in Australia. Years later, in 1984, Dr. Chun would pass the medical exam in Australia and continue his medicinal practice while also recording the histories of his military unit and the South Vietnamese Marines. In 2023, Dr. Chun passed away. He was a husband, father, doctor, veteran, historian, and a survivor. And this is the story of Dr. Chun Xuân Dũng,